7 pitchers, 11 players, a 7-11 record, and last place in the AL East. By every surface metric, the 2026 Toronto Blue Jays look like a team in crisis. But this is the same organization that started slowly in 2025, overcame adversity at every turn, and pushed the Los Angeles Dodgers all the way to Game 7 of the World Series in 11 innings. So before Jays Nation sounds the alarm, let's look at the full picture. Because inside this injury story, there is a player worth knowing and a team worth believing in. Hello, Jays Nation. Welcome to Jays Quick News, your go-to spot for the latest Toronto Blue Jays updates. We are back with another injury report, and yes, this one involves the word impingement once again. But today we are doing something different. We are not just covering the damage, we are telling the full story, including the parts that actually give us reason to feel good about where this franchise is heading. If you are not subscribed to Jays Quick News yet, this is the moment. Hit that button, ring the bell, and join Jays Nation right here on this channel. You do not want to miss what is coming this season. The Toronto Blue Jays have officially placed right-handed reliever Lazaro Estrada on the 15-day injured list with a right shoulder impingement in his throwing arm. The move is retroactive to April 5th, the same date he was originally optioned to AAA Buffalo. But here is where the story gets more nuanced. According to Sportsnet's Shi Davidi, the injury actually occurred while Estrada was still on the active Major League roster, stemming directly from his April 4th appearance against the Chicago White Sox. Because the injury took place under a big league contract, Toronto was required to place him on the MLB injured list rather than a minor league designation. And that distinction carries meaningful consequences for this player's career and future earning power. Lazaro Estrada, born April 24, 1999, is a Cuban-born right-hander who has quietly built one of the more compelling development stories inside the Blue Jays organization. He signed internationally in January 2018 and spent years grinding through the system. In 2021, his career nearly stalled entirely. He suffered a serious elbow injury and had to make one of the toughest decisions a young pitcher can face. Instead of choosing Tommy John surgery, Estrada opted for an internal brace procedure, betting on a faster recovery and a shorter timeline. That decision took both courage and confidence. He came back. In 2023, he delivered arguably the best season of his professional life at Single-A Dunedin, a 2.83 ERA with 103 strikeouts in 76 1/3 innings, numbers that made the organization's evaluators pay attention. His AAA debut in 2025 produced a 5.73 ERA, but a .331 BABIP, well above league average, tells us the results were harder than his actual stuff. His lone 2026 outing on April 4th confirmed the growth. 4 scoreless innings, 2 walks, full command. This is a pitcher trending in the right direction at exactly the wrong time. With Estrada now sidelined, Toronto's injured list reads like a greatest hits of bad luck. On the 10-day IL, George Springer, left big toe fracture. Addison Barger, left ankle sprain. And Alejandro Kirk, left thumb fracture. On the 15-day IL, Estrada, Trey Yesavage, shoulder impingement. Jose Barrios, right elbow stress fracture. And Yimi Garcia, recovering from 2025 elbow surgery. On the 60-day IL, Shane Bieber, right elbow inflammation. Cody Ponce, ACL sprain. Anthony Santander, labral surgery. And Bowden Francis, who is lost for the entire 2026 season. 7 pitchers, 11 players, a franchise sitting 7-11 in last place. And now, Dalton Varsho, one of the few bright spots in the lineup, slashing .262 with 3 home runs, is also dealing with left knee discomfort after leaving Friday's game. The list keeps growing. But here is what the headlines are not telling you. The cavalry is close. Trey Yesavage, who became a sensation in Toronto's 2025 postseason run by making more playoff starts than regular season starts, just threw 71 pitches in 4 1/3 innings in AAA, and could return after one more tune-up outing. Jose Barrios made his first rehab start on April 16th and is targeting an early May return. Shane Bieber continues to build up in Dunedin with a mid to late May target. The reinforcements are not a rumor. They are actively working their way back. Jays Nation has lived this before, and more recently than you might think. In 2025, Toronto started slowly, absorbed a wave of early setbacks, and then transformed into something extraordinary. A relentless offensive machine that eliminated the Mariners in a Game 7 ALCS thriller and took Yoshinobu Yamamoto and the Dodgers all the way to the 11th inning of a Game 7 World Series. The team that made that run leaned heavily on players who were underrated, overlooked, or recovering from injury. Ernie Clement, Nathan Lukes, Trey Yesavage, Shane Bieber. The blueprint for the 2026 version already exists. The question is whether this roster can hold together long enough to find it. Estrada's recovery timeline is uncertain but not alarming. Shoulder impingements typically resolve in 3 to 6 weeks, depending on how the joint responds to rest and treatment. Here is the perspective that matters most. This is a pitcher who already beat a potentially career-altering injury in 2021 by making a smart, gutsy decision and returning stronger. That is not a small thing. Pitchers who navigate that kind of adversity early and come back performing, like Estrada did in 2023 at Dunedin, carry a different kind of mental toughness into every outing. If he returns healthy and builds on that April 4th performance in a long relief role, there is a legitimate path for Estrada to be a valuable piece for Toronto when the pennant race heats up later in 2026. 7 pitchers on the IL, last place. And yet, less than 6 months ago, this franchise made the Dodgers sweat through 11 innings of Game 7. That is who the Toronto Blue Jays are. The injuries are real, the challenge is real, but so is this team's DNA. With Yesavage, Barrios, and Bieber on the way back, and a player like Estrada waiting to prove himself again, the story of 2026 is still being written. Do you believe this team has enough to turn it around, just like they did in 2025? Drop your answer below. Hit that like button, subscribe to Jays Quick News, and ring the notification bell. We will see you in the next one, Jays Nation.